Okay, so let me tell you about one of the weirdest but apparently true stories I've ever heard. It starts with this epic fail in a football game, but it ends with, you're not going to believe this, a seriously profound financial lesson from the last people you'd ever expect. All right, so set the scene. You've got this super high-stakes NFL game. The kicker, Younghoe Koo, is lining up for what should be a total gimme, a routine field goal. You know the vibe. The stadium goes quiet, the commentators hold their breath, everything is just perfect. Except it wasn't perfect at all. He kicks the ball and it does this weird wobble thing. It just veers off course like it has a mind of its own. It's supposed to sail right through the posts, but instead it just kind of dies. It's a total, complete, catastrophic failure. So, of course, everyone's asking, what happened? And Koo's explanation is, well, it's so simple, it's almost insulting. He just says the ball slipped. That's it. And that one little, kinda lame excuse, that's the spark that ignites this whole wild ride. Now, you're probably thinking, okay, here comes the sports analysis, right? They're gonna break down his form, talk about the turf, whatever. But nope. What happens next is so far out of left field, you just couldn't make this up. Vikings. Yeah, you heard me. Vikings. Apparently, according to this story, Vikings in Valhalla or wherever have this, like a sixth sense for major epic fails. They felt a disturbance in the force, this massive ripple of someone messing up, and they were like, we gotta go check this out. And the guy leading the charge, a dude named Bjorn Hamfist. He's just chilling, probably eating a giant turkey leg, and he senses Koo's missed kick across the cosmos, and he decides, no, this pathetic display cannot stand. We have to intervene. So bam, a portal rips open on the 50-yard line. Out walks Bjorn and his whole crew, smelling like victory and probably old mead. They march right up to this poor, completely baffled Younghoe Koo. Imagine the stadium just dead silent. And Koo, bless him, he gives them the same excuse he gave everyone else. The ball slipped, and the Vikings just look at him. You can just see the deep existential disappointment on their faces. Like, this is not how a warrior accounts for failure. I mean, this is the ultimate culture clash, right? Bjorn is just completely baffled. He's like, my dude, we fought krakens. We drank things that would dissolve a normal person's stomach. And you failed because your little leather egg slipped? The sheer disbelief is amazing. But this is where the story takes a turn, because they're not just there to make fun of him. Okay, maybe a little bit. But they're really there to teach him a lesson. And it's not about how to kick a football. It's about something way, way more important. And then, boom, Bjorn puts his arm around Koo's shoulders and just drops this truth bomb. He says the real difference between them isn't about failing. It's about how you invest. And this is where we get to the heart of it all. They call it the ETF plunder plan. Another Viking, Ragnar, steps up and explains it with this super serious, almost mystical tone, like he's sharing the secrets to life itself. And their explanation is just genius. They basically say, look, forget all that complicated financial talk. An ETF, it's just a Viking's plunder. Think about it. You go on a bunch of raids, you get some gold here, some cattle there, some nice silks from another place. That's your ETF. You want a little piece of everything. So if one raid is a bust, hey, no big deal. You haven't lost it all. And this is the key, right? Vikings get risk. They live it. They know things go sideways. Boats can sink. Dudes slip on the deck. You might drop some treasure overboard. So what's the #1 rule? You never trust just one source of loot. You spread it out. You diversify. And that's the lesson for Koo. He was thinking like a kicker. One shot, all or nothing. Everything was riding on that one single kick. The Vikings, they think like raiders. They've got lots of raids, lots of ships in the water. So if one fails, it's a bummer, for sure. But it's not the end of the world. It's not a catastrophe. And Ragnar comes in with this gem of wisdom. He says, heroes fall, empires fall, ball slip. It's so simple, but so true. Failure is just a part of the deal. Everything can fail. So putting all your bets on one single thing, that's just a bad plan. So they're all gathered around the Jumbotron, watching the replay like it's game tape from a battle. They see the ball slip, and Bjorn just shakes his head and goes, yep, classic single asset risk exposure, textbook mistake. They're not seeing a clumsy kick. They're seeing a fundamental flaw in strategy. And that really brings us to the big takeaway here, right? This whole crazy thing. It's not just about football, and it's not even just about investing. What the Vikings are giving him is a whole philosophy for how to live. So before they disappear back into their portal, they leave Kusi a little parting gift. It's an axe, and carved right into the blade is their final message. Diversify or die. I mean, you can't get much more direct than that, can you? That's the whole moral of the story, right there.
And Bjorn's final point really hits home. Look, failure happens to everyone. Things slip. That's life. But choosing to put all your hopes, all your dreams, your entire future on one single, fragile thing, that's not fate. That's a choice. And according to the Vikings, it's a terrible one.
And that kind of turns the spotlight back on all of us, doesn't it? How many of us are living like that kicker, relying on just one job, or one plan for the future, or even putting all our emotional chips on one person? Are we just crossing our fingers and praying that our one big shot doesn't slip?
So that's the question this whole bizarre story leaves us with. When you look at your own life, your own investments, your own plans, are you acting like a frantic kicker, just hoping for a miracle on one single play? Or are you thinking like a wise Viking, who knows that the only real way to weather the storm is to have more than one ship in the sea?